Hello and welcome to something a little different. Because The Last of Us is my favourite game of all time, for me, the greatest game ever made,
You wish things were different.
it just seemed right that I did a reaction to this new trailer. And there's some great gameplay at the end as well. Oh, I'm really looking forward to it. I have my reservations about certain things, but I won't go into those in this video. I'll leave that for my general reaction after I've finished playing it. All I'm looking at with this, the graphics, the animations, the acting, the script, things like that. I mean, Naughty Dog are just masters at presentation.
To do this smart, we'd be leaving Jackson.
I just can't wait to get my hands on this
Did they
thing.
just get to get away with this?
It's said to be around 35 hours long, that's the rumour. But I'll probably be spending 70 hours, simply because of the openness of the environments and the fact that you're going to be searching high and low. There are even whole cutscenes and story moments that are off the beaten path that you can actually miss in your first playthrough and then find in the second playthrough. That's cool.
I really hope you make it.
Replayability is always good, especially when it's legitimate like that. But I'm going to be hunting high and low the first playthrough.
I have to finish it.
I may do a let's play of it, but I don't think it'll be an immediate let's play. I'll play through it first and then do a let's play, because I want to just relax into the narrative and feel it. I can't really do that when I'm talking over the top of it.
We could have killed you. Maybe you should have.
Oh yeah, Sally's not very happy. Not sure about the theme of hate. For Druckmann,
Vice President of Naughty Dog and the Director.
for Druckmann to reduce the first game to love, I thought was a little bit of discrediting the first game. Yes, love was one of the themes in the first game, but it wasn't just love. There was lots of themes in the first game.
We hope you're all taking care of yourselves and that you, your friends, and your loved ones are doing
And I'm absolutely certain
because of
that
these extraordinary
hate
circumstances,
is just the
we
key
can't be
word is
together in
chosen for this
final
one.
stretch and share the
And there must
experience
be
of
layers
losing
to it.
Today
Hate
we're
is
trying
such a
something different.
trivial
something
theme.
we've never done before.
I mean, the first theme was about families, relationships. It was about redemption overall, really.
New details about the gameplay experience and story. And to cap it all off, we'll be showing a never-before-seen, lengthy gameplay sequence. You'll definitely want to stick around for that.
I just hope the writing's as good as the first one. There are a few things here and there that I feel a little overwritten.
I'm supposed to take her to the Fireflies and walk away.
There's where it
Hey, we're
all
actually gonna make
starts.
a cure.
Now I wonder, I don't like this
No
intro here,
objection.
I'm assuming this VO is purely for this trailer. I do hope it is. It is.
The Last of Us Part 2 picks up Ellie and Joel's story several years after the events of the first game. Ellie and Joel have settled in Jackson, Wyoming.
Looks like we do revisit that moment, but in nice,
With the threats of the world
well, nicer
just outside the
graphics.
town's walls, Jackson has been able to find relative peace and even.
I'm talking over this because
Ellie is
I don't know how
19,
YouTube works in terms of something like this, and you've probably all watched this video anyway.
How would you rate our kiss from last night?
How would you rate that, our kiss from last night? Not.
However, this
Who really talks like that? You know?
Jackson has
really
been through
talks
a
like that?
violent and traumatizing event. Ellie sets off back into the treacherous outside world in search of retribution and justice. Her journey
Look
will
at
take
that.
her to new parts of the country
Wow.
previously unexplored in The Last of Us. The story spans multiple seasons and climates, from the snow-capped mountains of Jackson to the lush Pacific Northwest. Each introduces a wide range
Can anybody tell me in the
interior environments
comment
for you to
section
navigate
whether
and
Seattle
explore, rendered
has
in
got a
meticulous
zoo.
detail and unprecedented scale with the latest iteration of the Naughty Dog engine.
I wonder if
Our
that's
goal
all
is to make these
explorable
environments not only
without
beautiful,
gateways.
but feel as
I'm happy
grounded
with
and authentic
gateways.
to the cities
You know,
they're
it
based
is,
on as
after
possible.
all, a linear narrative, and it does require a certain
Much
amount
the
of
story
direction
unfolds in what remains of Seattle,
from the
a massive
creators.
former quarantine zone.
Otherwise, you'll lose the
Its
narrative.
locales are incredibly
Narrative
diverse,
beats are
spanning
important.
a dense city center with a skyline of towering high-rises to the beautiful suburbs and stormy waterfronts
That could
surround
actually be why the
exhibits
theme
drastic
isn't
shifts in
quite as
architecture,
deep.
elevation, and weather.
With Hate as
And
the
with part two,
theme,
we've
it
introduced
lends
new
itself to
construction mechanics that
more
afford greater exploration
open-ended
and
game,
ways to
because
navigate threats.
hatred is all
Ellie
you
is not
need
only able
to
climb
send
and jump over
Ellie
gaps,
on a
she can use
rampage
ropes
through a
to
big
scale
open
vertical terrain
space.
or swing over obstacles,
Narrative
allowing you to
beats
discover
can be
new
fewer,
areas,
so therefore you can
resources,
have bigger
and side
open
narratives.
spaces. I do hope I'm wrong on that though.
Environments
Like I
also
said
create
there,
new
I don't
strategic
think hate is
considerations in
enough to
combat,
carry a whole game.
whether it's to get the jump on
Not in
enemies
terms of a
or
theme.
bypass them entirely.
I mean, look at that. I want to go down there. I want to
The last
go
Us Part
down
2
there.
features some of the largest environments we've ever created. Horseback riding will allow Ellie to quickly cover some of these expansive terrains. Some streets are so flooded that a boat is required to navigate them.
And this here, how many places
However,
are off
the
this
world of
that
The
you
Last
can
of
go
Us is as
investigate
lush and
before you
inviting
get to your
as it is
destination?
deadly.
Look, she doesn't go very far. There's no way that's
Ellie
where you
uncovers the
start
path
that
to
boat
finding
trip.
those who have
No
wronged her, who
way.
must face the many threats of this unknown city. In the wake of the pandemic and the fall of the quarantine zone, Seattle has become a war zone, where two warring factions find themselves in an ongoing conflict for territory and resources.
So you've
One of
got
these
two
groups is
factions.
the Washington Liberation Front,
You can boil them
otherwise
down
known
to a
as
military
WLF.
faction and a stealth faction,
The
to give you
WLF are a
two
militia group that
variants
began
of gameplay
as resistance to
and
the
gameplay
military
approaches.
occupation of Seattle,
I'll
and
be playing
eventually
stealth.
wrestled
I
control
love
of the city
stealth.
from them.
And in that
They are
regard,
highly
I'm a little
trained,
worried about the
organized,
dogs.
and well-equipped with
They can
weapons and
sniff
stealth
you out, so
environments.
scent is a
They
problem.
occupy much of the city,
I think they've
imprisoning
done
or
that to
killing
keep you
trespassers
moving.
on sight.
And I'm not sure I like that, because I like to stand back and I like to assess the situation, and then I like to then act upon what I've
On the
worked
other side
out,
of this
how,
bloody
you
conflict
know,
is a group of
on
religious
strategy
zealots called
I've
Seraphites,
thought about.
or scars, defined by the self-inflicted deep cuts that they bear across their faces.
The fun is that it works perfectly.
Like the WLF, they're deeply tribalistic and territorial. They're known for being stealthy, using overgrowth as cover.
Yeah, you
and
see
using
stealth,
silent
so this
weapons
is gonna
like
be
bows
cool.
and arrows.
Clip her wings.
It is brutal.
But beyond this conflict among survivors, the threat that originally brought the world to its knees is very much present. Every
Look at the
human is
bloater.
in danger of
Oh,
falling
oh.
victim to the infected.
Look at that. Oh god, I'm not looking forward to facing that thing
They are the
again.
recently infected runners who are more numerous and aggressive in this game. The blind but extremely deadly clickers.
Now,
and
more
the
numerous
stalkers
and
sneak inside
aggressive.
until they're ready to attack.
That suggests to me they will attack you more often and you won't be able to stealth as easily. Again,
The
I
Last
hope
of Us
I'm wrong.
Part 2 introduces new stages of infected, such as the Shamblers. Large, heavily armored enemies that are covered in pustules. Upon getting close to you, they expel a corrosive spore cloud that burns its victims. But our most terrifying and lethal new forms of infected will have
Oh,
to wait
yes.
until you play the game for yourselves.
I've got a theory about that. Has Seattle got a zoo though? Has Seattle got a zoo? Because we know that primates can be infected. We saw that in the first game with the monkeys. Now if it's got a zoo, we might have a few monkeys and we might have a gorilla.
And the environment to your advantage.
Maybe animals are now
The
infected,
WLF patrol the
i.e.,
streets of Seattle with guard
you know,
dogs,
monkeys
which are capable of detecting
and
and
gorillas.
following you, even while in cover.
You think this guy's connected to the
They can
See-
pick up your scent and alert their handlers to your presence. Listen mode will reveal your scent trail, so keep moving and cause
So
distractions
keep
to
moving.
avoid
Do you see what I'm saying?
hiding anywhere?
The emphasis here seems to
25
be
years after the
that is to
pandemic began,
make sure you
the
keep
world is
moving.
completely overgrown.
I like to take
Use
my
tall grass
time
to
and
hide
pick
from
them off
enemies
a bit
or
at
go
a time.
prone to stay out of sight.
I like to
However,
clear the whole
this form of
area out
analog
without
stealth
anybody being
means you're
alerted.
never fully hidden.
And I know a
Enemies
lot of
get close
people
enough, they can
are the same
discover
way.
you, even in grass.
That bothers me a little.
When Ellie is overwhelmed, running away is a viable option.
Smashing windows as well, that's a nice little addition, I think. Sneaking through narrow spaces. Oh, I'm still looking forward to this, and it's probably still going to get a 10 out of 10 from me.
To regain the advantage.
I loved playing as Ellie in the snow.
Fight your way out, there are a variety of tools at your disposal. Ellie's more agile than most of her enemies. She can sprint and quickly dodge incoming attacks. Learning how opponents attack with different weapons.
I like the way she grabs his bayonet. Not his bayonet, his machete. Look. Boom.
Opportunities to counterattack. You can use throwable items or well-placed shots to stun enemies before dealing a killing blow.
The way she cripples this bloke, look. She hits him in the knee, so then she can grab him and use him as a shield. I like that as well. Whether that was deliberate by the player, I don't know. Very vicious.
Ellie isn't always alone on her journey. Allies will take part in helping you navigate the environments, spot enemies, and meaningfully help you in combat encounters.
Very hard. I like it. I like that. I didn't like those. Those are the worst. Stalkers. What is stalkers? I can't remember the name of them now.
Between the human survivors and the roaming infected, there will be times where multiple threats are present.
This had to be in here, of course, because it was in the DLC. I knew this mechanic would have to be added.
You can choose whether to attack these
Which
opponents
is cool.
separately and directly, or find ways to pit them against each other. Flee as they fight, or wait until they're.
I don't know what it is about this scene here. There's something off about the way these infected are running. Come here, watch them flailing around, watch. Just doesn't seem quite, look, do you know what I mean? Look, just, don't know, it looks a little bit, what's she flailing around for? There's nothing in front of her.
Our goal is to create unparalleled tension, coupled with deep systems that give you greater control and influence over your journey.
That's what I'm looking forward to too.
As you play, you'll be able to invest in a broad
I
collection
love
of
searching
crafting
out
items,
stuff.
weapon, and player upgrades, through training manuals scattered throughout the environment and scavenging for ingredients. These skills and upgrade manuals cater to a variety of playstyles, and the choices you make will
Stealth
create your own
is for me.
distinct experience. We also wanted to
Look at that
extend
workbench as
agency
well,
and
though.
personalization to your weapons through our new workbench
The amount of work that's gone into this.
Scavenge for parts to modify and improve your weapon's performance and attributes, all of which are visualized and become part of your character.
Sniper rifle, silencer. Yes, Bob's your uncle. That'll do me. I've got no problem killing
Survival will
polygonal
also require
dogs,
using the
by
parts
the
and
way.
ingredients that you'll find in the environment, which can be crafted into a wide range of defensive and offensive items, like proximity mines.
I wouldn't discount the idea of having a canine companion, you know. If they've gone to all the trouble of giving them AI and making them look and animate properly, it would surely cross a developer's mind to give them a canine companion, a dog of their own, at some point during the story. Depends.
All of these gameplay systems
But I'm expecting
are
it.
meant to immerse you in the world and make you feel in lockstep with Ellie's emotional journey. As we've said before, this is Naughty Dog's largest, most ambitious game. It may seem like we covered a lot, but we've only scratched the surface of what it's like to play The Last of Us Part 2. We can't wait for you to experience it all for yourself on June 19th.
Some people say that woman is
Until then,
ugly.
here's an
She's
extended
gorgeous.
sequence of
What's
never
wrong with you?
before seen gameplay. Enjoy.
Oh yes. Look at the water when she goes through the water. Especially when she moves around underneath the surface of the water and you can see the squalls underneath. It's amazing. Look, you can climb off to the left there. To the right, sorry. You watch the eddies of water underneath the surface when she's just... Look, watch. You see that, look? Oh, that's fantastic. I don't like water in games much. I never like swimming. But I did notice one of the upgrades was hold your breath. So I'm wondering, because you play it twice, and it's designed to play more than once, that New Game Plus will be in it immediately, meaning that perhaps there are areas you can't get to because it's too far to swim. And by upgrading your breathing the second time through, you will be able to reach it. Maybe a specific weapon. Or an upgrade. Wasn't sure about this scene here. I wish they'd not made it a Vita, to be honest. Just feels a little... It's a little too much for fans. I don't think it has its place in this world.
Don't make a fucking sound. Hands up.
I'd have seen it just been a Walkman, to be honest.
Where is she?
I know that would have still been a Sony product, but I think it would have worked better than the Vita. Just a little too much for me. You could, you could argue, why would she be sat there on her own, listening to something without... I certainly wouldn't want to have my ears blocked when I'm in an environment where clickers or a warring faction could at any point get me.
Boat's away. Word is we're almost wrapped up.
Good. I got my girl waiting for him for Bob.
You shitting me? They put you with Joe again?
Upstairs.
Hey, we get the job done.
I bet you do. Oh, this is not fair.
I'm telling you, man. Data soldier. It makes these shifts so much easier.
Sure. I'll keep that in mind.
I like the long grass.
Sounds like scars are getting closer.
You're not completely hidden, but you are hidden as long as they're not too close, which is fine.
Hey, did you hear why we're all getting called up to the fob?
I heard that Isaac wants us to retake all of downtown.
I heard we might take the fight to them.
No way. Not after what went down last time. Even Isaac isn't that crazy.
That's what I heard.
You upgrade your listen mode as well. It starts off blurry, and obviously it will get clearer the more you upgrade it. Clearer with the and distance, I suppose. All you dog lovers out there might want to just bung your ears up for a moment. I like this music. It's got more pace than the older music. A bit like Metal Gear Solid, I suppose. It's got that beat that also adds to the momentum, the need to move on. It seems definitely to set up more towards people who play aggressively than via stealth, although whoever's playing this is doing a pretty good job of playing stealth. So obviously it's not impossible. But at this point it's just a little worried, because I do like my stuff. Basically because I'm not very good at playing any other way. Listen to that music. Seems contextual.
Saw movement. I'll go check it out. I got you covered.
See, just as that beat just rising in volume slightly there. See, now it's building. It's only subtle, but it is there.
I found her!
Yeah, I like this door bit as well. Just because every time I played the original game, and I've played it 12 times, I'm on the 12th playthrough now. Every time she pushed something up against, or Joel pushed something up against the door in the... I was thinking, well, I could push that door open easy, but the view's too. Which makes it feel a little more realistic. Very nice. Now I wonder if you could get up that part of the vent instead of the later part that she goes up. Can she jump directly up without a box to grab?
You, Nora?
Or does she have to scramble up something to get into a vent? Things like this are cool. Obviously reminiscent of Metal Gear Solid. But then again, how else do you crawl through a vent?
Maybe if you close the more guard, Abby will see it herself. The fuck was Abby here?
I'm not stupid.
I mean, somebody said they stole it from Spider-Man, but I recall them having Drake crawling through a vent in, was it Uncharted 4?
Not going down for her, man.
So no, I don't think they've stolen it off Spider-Man. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Once somebody's done it, then you can claim they're copying it off that person forevermore. Well, it's just inevitable that at some point they're going to have a game with somebody crawling through a vent. I'd have grabbed that. Notice that, by the way, that when you get things to collect, it's got a little meter on it. It shows you how much more you need.
Don't scream.
So if it's got 3 and you see a next one, it'll have 4.
Put that shit down.
So your first one you pick up will have 1, second one will have 2, next one 3, next one 4. Which is a nice little touch. It lets you know
You remember me?
that you're capable of making this thing when you pick the last one up, without having to actually check your little spanner at the side. That's handy. But yeah, that's my playthrough. Absolutely fantastic. Well, not playthrough, my reaction. Really looking forward to this. Hope you enjoyed this. Bit out of place on this particularly YouTube channel, but what can you say? I haven't made a video in quite some time, and I haven't spoken for quite some time, so hope you enjoyed it, and all that's left for me to say is very well, toodle pip, au revoir, and all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.